Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tim here. So, want to kind of jump in on this little discussion and everything that Robert Z was having about Record Store Day. So, I know some people are wishy-washy about it, and what Robert wanted to know was, what's just your take on it? What are you doing? What do you mean? Are you in it? Are you not in it? I'm in. I'm all in. I'm crazy in. Now, that being said, I understand why some people may be a little frustrated with it. There's nothing I can say or do that's going to change your mind. There really isn't. There's nothing that I'm going to tell you that's going to go, there it is. There's the solution. But for those of you who maybe don't want to participate in it or whatever, don't ruin it for other people. That's just no fun. Those of us who want to go, we're going maybe because there's a few releases that we want. Is it a cash grab? Newsflash, yes. Yes, it is. But I'm going to pick up some limited releases. I'm also going to spend money at these shops in their vintage vinyl or pre-owned whatever. I'm going to give them some money. And that alone is a reason to go. Think back 10 years. Record stores were non-existent for the most part. You know, we were all sniffing on the corner. Got any vinyl? I mean, now it's everywhere again. Yeah, the prices are insane, but you're finding stuff. So why do we have to prevent the industry from eating? Sure, the industry is huge. I get that. I understand it. I don't necessarily agree with all the pricing, but we're taking it out of the hands of more corporate America. We're putting it more in independent shops. We are finding more interesting things to buy on vinyl. So embrace it. Even if you don't give a damn about one release on Record Store Day, go to your local stores and shop them. Give them some love. They're going to be running sales. Why not have some fun? Excuse me. So, Robert basically wanted to know your take, and then what are your plans if you're going. So, and this will show you how all in. I print out the list, and I do this because I start looking at things I'm interested in. It allows me to do some research. There's websites out there that may give some information one way or another. Now the website, the store I'm going to, and I've referenced it before, is Triangle Vinyl here in Orlando. Well, outside of Orlando. I know the owner well, Justin. He's been very good to me. He's taken care of me, and this is something Andrew from Tales of the Creator said. Talk to your local shop owners, get to know them, buy some things they recommend, let them find out your tastes. Once they find that you are literally being there to buy and, you know, be a part of the experience, things are going to start to happen. They're going to remember, you know, that, hey, you spent money on a regular basis. I know you're looking for this. I'm going to give you a call, or I'm going to message you, or, hey, you got a stack of vinyl, maybe I'll give you a discount or something like that. Happens all the time. I'm not kidding. So take advantage. So I print out the list, and I kind of do a quick over, and then what Justin does is he says, look, there are no holds, there are no guarantees, but give me an idea of what you're looking for, and I will try to order based off of what everybody's hoping for. Now, some of these releases may only get 1,200 copies. 10 people in line want it. Somebody screwed. It's gonna happen. So, so I look over the list, and then I start rechecking. You know, there's some things I initially said I wanted. I don't know if I still want. So So we'll go over that. A couple things that jumped out at me, like the alternative Astral Weeks from Van Morrison. It's a pretty big one. I really originally said I was interested in the Saucer Full of Secrets mono mix from Pink Floyd, but I don't know if I wanted a mono versus stereo. The Sly and the Family Stone live one looks good. The Crow soundtrack as a must-have. There's a Psych comp that I'm going to get. The Soul Slabs from Coal Mine Records I have to have, because between what Chris over at First Pressing Goodness has been showing and Steve Carlson, both of them have really been driving home Coal Mine Records with me. So I want to look at those. You know, but then upon research, I looked at, there was a Notorious B.I.G. and Craig Mack set. It's called Big Mac, and it's an original sampler. And it has a Biggie song on there where the original sample wasn't cleared. So when it went to a major press, they had to change the sample. The original sample is still intact. So I may get that just because of that. Again, when you have whatever it is you're going to spend and you want to put some of it in the used section and get some great deals, if you're like me, you want to maximize the value versus, you know, what you're planning on spending. Is there a lot on here I'm not getting, or that I think I may get after the fact, or I'll look for it after the fact? You betcha. But what I do is, my game plan is what can't I live without? What do I have to have? What's the big ones? And that's what I do. So I'll be working and reworking this list until it's all said and done. So last record store day, I only went for really one thing. Now I did buy some used, but for really just one new release, and that was the David Axelrod Songs of Innocence. So there was 3 Capitol. Here, I'll show you the hype sticker from Record Store Day, because I'm a nerd. David Axelrod heavily influenced a lot of different hip-hop and stuff producers, but also he produced a lot of jazz for the Capitol label. He produced a lot of releases for Cannonball Adderley. So when he started recording his own stuff, he had that jazz fusion in mind, but it took on a different animal, and it's a little different, at least to me. So being that it inspired one of my favorite artists, DJ Shadow, and you know, having a strong foothold in jazz, I had to have it. I've heard his Capitol output, which was 3 albums. I've streamed them and I was familiar with them. So because of last Record Store Day, this got reissued, and I picked that up. Now I also went to Record Store Day Black Friday, and they reissued his 3rd album, which was Earth Rot. I was glad to pick this up, and actually, this was pressed by, I can't remember now, hold on. Now Again Records. And the reason why I mentioned them is I actually had an issue with because this is originally was a 1-disc LP. The reissue came with a 2nd disc, which was the instrumentals, but the vocal I had an issue with, and Now Again Records took care of me. They actually sent me a replacement of just that disc, which I was able to share my issue one with Bill over at the Vinyl Verse, and he took care of any issues and stuff like that. So, you know, it was a really good thing. And then I completed the Capitol just from the pre-owned section, the Songs of Experience. So because of Record Store Day, I got grails that I didn't think I would ever get. I mean, like literally some of these original issues were like $150, $200. It was ridiculous. It wasn't gonna happen. One other Black Friday from last year pickup I wanted to share, it was this one, which was a spur of the moment. I actually changed my mind. I had a game plan, and Cannonball Adderley was high on my list, but actually I pulled the trigger on this instead. Ended up saving about 15 bucks off sticker from this versus the Cannonball Adderley, and it's going to pay off because it looks like I can pick up the Cannonball Adderley cheaper. Again, you got to gamble, you got to work the system. So I was glad to pick that one up. So what do? Do I show up at, because I mean, traditionally it starts at 8 o'clock, it's a time thing. You can't sell things at 2:30 in the morning. It just, you can't sell them online and so on and so forth. But at the record store day that I went to last year, and then subsequently Black Friday, I went to the same spot. I went to Triangle. So people got there early. I want to say for record store day, I was out there at about 4 or 5 in the morning, and I was like 7th in line. And then for the Black Friday, I was out there at like, say 3:30, and I was 3rd in line, which wasn't bad. I'm gonna tell you, that was nice. But people get passionate. I mean, some people were walking up at like 7 o'clock and going, "What? There's already 70, 80 people here? Yeah, we're psychos. Sorry, we wanted the records worse than you did." But I like the way Justin does it. I mean, I've heard horror stories of things like that. And I used to actually work in retail for a long time at a major conglomerate of specialty retailers that dealt with video games and consoles and things like that. I'm just going to name nameless. You can figure it out. So having done plenty of midnight events or launch events, you kind of see how the bad ones go, and you don't want to be a part of that. And none of that crap went down when I was running the show. So when I went to Justin's, and his was, hey, people would line up, and people were organized and very friendly, and just talking in line, and hey, what are you looking for? Because there were sometimes people coming up like 2 or 3 behind me, knowing that there may only be 1 or 2 copies of something that they're looking for, and they're literally asking, "Hey, are you getting that?" No. And now it's like, well, you said you weren't, so we're actually not going to be a dick about it, So it's very chill atmosphere. It makes it rewarding to you, the shopper, to kind of just come and have some fun. Sometimes he has bands and donuts and pizza and all this kind of stuff. But what's really nice is that when the word go happens, a few people come in at a time, and they line all the way up to the back of the store, and the first person starts, and they start flipping through the record store day bins, pulling out what they want. Once they get a bin or 2 ahead, the next person goes. Same deal. There's people back there monitoring it, no grabbing, no pushing, no reaching over. Hey, I want that, push it out of the way. None of that shit. Because if you do it, you're out. Record stores aren't obligated to do record store day. It's not a requirement. You have to go through a process and be approved. And they only make a few bucks per copy on these things. And they price them to sell for the most part. Some places maybe want to price them to have inventory later on down the road if it gets harder to find, so on and so forth. But for the most part, there's a window that they can charge, and most places are going to want to move the product because they've already spent the money. Then now they got to get the money back. So why not give a great experience for those people who really want to be in line, who really want to get some things, and aren't dicks about, hey, I didn't get it. No, I took that chance. And like I said, he has tons of used selection, and he has a lot of extra things, like he usually has extra sales and stuff like that to really make it worth it to kind of pick up what you want and dig some more, which is what I do. Because why not? I mean, I'm at a record store day. It's Saturday. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I've had 4 cups of coffee. I gotta pee. I want to stay in a record store and talk with people, We've been standing in line all night. We've got to know each other. We're friendly. We're going to swap Christmas cards. Maybe hold hands. Sing Kumbaya. Whatever the case may be. But that's my record store day. Then I come home and, make a video and die and sleep and wake up and then clean them and play them and cherish them and love them and hold them and squeeze them and call them George. So I'm interested. What are some of you guys doing for record store day? Is there stuff you're getting? Are you poo-poo on the whole experience? Let me know. I'm curious because, again, it's meant to be a celebration for everybody. I get everybody's not into it, but maybe, just maybe, you'll consider stopping by your local shop or two. Give them a few bucks. Pick up a couple things. Thank them for being there. Because if we don't, they won't be there next year. Maybe. I don't know. Robert, this was a great idea. Loved it. Glad to participate. Hopefully everybody's well. And we'll talk soon. Peace.